Exes. Ugh.
It can be frustrating. Today, I want to help you girls get over your ex. I want to show you 2 absolutely killer exercises and give you a couple of action steps so that you can quickly or even instantly get over your ex and move on to bigger and better things to come. Alright ladies, so today we're talking about how to get over an ex. So I think this is a topic that every single one of us has struggled with at some point. It's super common to have relapses about your ex, but what I want to do today is give you a couple of strategies that I use all the time that are really effective in helping you get over your ex. I'm going to give you 2 exercises that you can do right now at home that are going to take the power away that he has in your head and remove a bit of the fantasy. Because a lot of it is a fantasy, a lot of it is us looking back with a bit of a grass is greener point of view. And I think logically, you guys probably are aware that, it wasn't quite as good as you're making it out to be in your head, but emotionally you still miss him so much, and that's what I want to help you solve today. So before I get into the 2 exercises, just a point, you do have to be no contact with your ex. I talk to a lot of girls who want to contact their ex, and the biggest thing I hear is to get closure. And it's not something that you need to be talking to your ex to do. Closure is something that comes from inside you. It comes from your own processing, and it comes from when you've made sense of everything that happened in your own mind. So I wanted to touch on that because the more you contact your ex, the more you're going to delay this process and the more you're going to struggle to get over him. If you have to contact your ex because you have kids or work or something together, then just make sure you keep everything super professional and no personal stuff at all, because the less personal you can make contact with your ex, ideally none at all, the easier you're going to have it. All right, so I want to show you these 2 exercises that are going to help you get over it. All right, girls, so today I'm going to give you 2 super powerful exercises that are going to help you get over your ex quicker than you ever thought possible. So I use these with girls all the time, and it really speeds up the process. So in the first exercise, what you want to do is draw 2 columns on a whiteboard or a piece of paper. Now, in the left column, you want to label it positives. And the right column, you want to label that negatives. Okay, now what you want to do in this exercise, girls, is you want to fill out these columns. So these are the positives and the negatives of the man, the guy you've been missing, and of the relationship. So you start with the positives, and what you want to do is think back to all the positive things. So this is probably really easy for you because you've been missing this guy, you've been struggling to get over him a little bit. And so to begin with, you want to list all the positives of the relationship. Now this might seem like a counterintuitive thing to do to get over an ex, but it's really powerful once we balance it out with the negatives. So let's say, for example, he was quirky, he was fun to be around, maybe he was great in bed. You write all those positives in the left-hand column. And you want to keep going with this list, girls, until you've exhausted all the positives in your mind. So everything that was positive about the guy and the relationship, you want to put them all in this left-hand column. And then the second part of this exercise is about the negatives. So what you want to do is fill out all the negatives of the guy and the relationship. And you're going to find this a little bit harder, but the goal is to create balance. So for a long time, you've been looking back on this relationship as if it was kind of more positive than it was, like rose-colored glasses kind of idea. So you want to brainstorm, and it's going to take you a little longer than the positive column, but you want to brainstorm all the negatives of the guy and the relationship. So all the things that didn't work. Now, for example, was he a poor communicator? Was he rude to you sometimes? You want to pop those in the negative column. So you want to think back to all the negatives from the guy and the relationship and put them all through until you have an even number on both sides. And what this exercise achieves is that when you look at this and you see an even number of both sides, you're going to see this relationship with a lot more balance, and your brain's going to be forced to recognize that, yeah, there were some good things that you've obviously been missing, but there were also a heap of things that didn't work about the relationship and were broken about it. It's going to really create that balance in your mind. All right, girls, and now the second exercise. So the second exercise is a really powerful one where you take what you've learned in the first exercise and you push it forward into the future. So what you want to do is you write 10 years at the top of a piece of paper, and we're going to do some projections. Your job is to select the biggest negatives, so the 3 biggest negative traits that you wrote about in the negative column, and project them out into the future. So let's say you take the 3 that I've written here. So you decide your biggest 3 are the guy was a poor communicator, the guy was rude, and the guy was often late to things. What you want to do now is take those and project them 10 years into the future as if the two of you had stayed together. And what this is going to do is it's going to really help you see how bad things could have been and how all these traits would have affected your relationship moving forward. So your job is to write out exactly how it would have been in a relationship when you're with a guy like this. So how would it feel 10 years from now to be with a guy who was a poor communicator? What does that feel like every day? You know, he's not talking to you properly. He's not discussing relationship problems. 10 years from now, you guys have probably had kids, so he's not discussing problems with you about the kids properly. He's just not going through and communicating with you in a relationship. How would that feel? And when you do this thoroughly, you're going to really see how those negative traits would have affected that relationship in the future and how unhappy you would have been with a guy who exhibited those traits. As you do this and you go through each of these, your mind will start to see what things would have been like if you'd stayed with this guy, and you're going to start to miss that guy so much less. Now, you're going to have times where you still miss him again. You're going to do an exercise like this, and then 5 days from now, you're going to miss him again, and you're going to be like, that stupid exercise Mark gave me doesn't work. This is just, I'm never going to get over this guy, blah. But it's cool. We all have relapses. We all have times where we go back and miss someone a bit more. It just means you go back, you read your exercise again, and you reinforce in your mind that there was as much good as there was bad, and that these things would have been really bad moving forward in the future. Now girls, as a little bit of a bonus exercise, there's one more thing you can do. What you want to do is write about your perfect relationship 10 years from now. So make some notes on how that relationship would look. How would your ideal relationship look with a guy that loves you and cherishes you and gives you the quality time and attention that you deserve? How would that look? And every time you miss your ex, every time you feel like you're relapsing and you're going, oh, I really miss this guy again, I can't get over him, take a look at your perfect relationship and compare it to the 10-year projections as to what that guy would have been, and you're going to see that that wasn't the relationship you want, and that the guy you want is still out there for you, and the relationship you want is well on its way. So girls, look, I hope those exercises help you get over your ex. Anytime you feel a relapse, and you will from time to time, you will miss him again, make sure you compare your perfect relationship with the 10-year version that we came up with. And every time your brain sees the difference, it's going to weaken that connection in your mind. Did this process work for you? Did it not? I'd love to hear your feedback, if we can improve it at all, or if you have other suggestions that have helped girls, maybe yourself or girls you know, to get over their exes. I'd love to share them. I want to build a community around this so that we can get lots of girls helping each other. So make sure you post them in the comments. Seriously, put them down there. Check out the blog as well, makethemyours.com.au. If you enjoyed the video, if you got something out of it, share it around, give it a thumbs up. I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel, so make sure you do that as well. Let me know how it goes. Girls, I'll see you very soon.